Listen, I need you to hear me out. Some mirrors don't just reflect you, they remember you. And what they remember, they can twist, they can change, they can replace. This is a story I probably shouldn't be telling, but you need to know. It's about a man named Ali and the mirror he should have left behind. He found it in the back of a dusty, forgotten antique shop, tucked away under a pile of old canvases. It was old, ancient, even. The frame was dark, heavy wood, and the glass was webbed with fine cracks, like a spider silk frozen in time. Around the edges were symbols etched deep into the wood. Ali thought they were just intricate decorations, but they felt more like warnings. Something deep in his gut told him to walk away, to leave it be, but the mirror had a strange pull, a silent allure he couldn't resist. He paid the shopkeeper a few dollars, a man with eyes that seemed to know more than he was letting on, and brought it home. That night, he hung it in his hallway. In the dim, quiet light of his apartment, the mirror seemed to absorb the shadows, making the small space feel colder, darker. It waited, silent, hungry. Ali walked past it a few times, catching glimpses of himself. Each time, something felt off. The reflection seemed a fraction too slow, a beat behind his own movements. He dismissed it as a trick of the light, the distortions from the old, cracked glass. He was wrong. Later that evening, standing before it, he blinked. Simple, natural reflex. But when his eyes opened, his reflection hadn't blinked with him. It just stood there, perfectly still, its eyes wide and fixed on him. A cold shiver crawled up his spine. His heart started to hammer against his ribs. He told himself it was his imagination, that he was just tired. He forced himself to take a deep breath and tried again. He blinked, and that's when it happened. When his eyes opened for the second time, his reflection smiled. It wasn't his smile. It wasn't even a human smile. It was a grotesque, stretched grin that pulled the corners of the mouth impossibly wide, a broken, twisted expression that looked like it had been practiced for centuries in the dark. The lips were thin and pale, stretched tight over teeth that weren't his. They were too long, too sharp. Ali was frozen to the spot. Its primal fear, cold and sharp, pierced through him, pinning him in place. He couldn't scream. He couldn't run. He could only watch, helplessly, as the terrible smile on his reflection's face grew wider and wider, splitting the face in the mirror into a nightmarish caricature of his own. The air in the room grew heavy, thick and icy cold, making it hard to breathe. Then, something else began to happen. From inside the glass, a hand pressed forward. It was pale, almost translucent, with long, skeletal fingers that scraped against the inside surface of the mirror. The sound it made wasn't glass on skin. It was a dry, rasping sound, like nails dragging across bone. Scraping grew louder, more frantic, the fingers clawing at the barrier that separated their world from his. Suddenly, the lights in the hallway flickered violently, plunging the scene into a strobe-like chaos of light and shadow. The air became so cold, he could see his own breath fogging in front of him. In that moment of pure terror, Ali finally understood. He hadn't brought home an antique. He had brought home a cage. Something inside that mirror wanted out. The lights flickered one last time and then went out completely, leaving him in total darkness. A second later, they buzzed back to life. Ali stared at the mirror, his body trembling uncontrollably, but his reflection was gone. The mirror was empty. It showed the hallway behind him, the wall, the door, but not him. He was invisible to it. In its place, standing just behind where his own reflection should have been, was the smiling thing. It was no longer a perfect copy of him. It was taller, thinner, its limbs elongated and contorted at unnatural angles. Its smile was fixed, a permanent, silent screen of an expression. It just stood there, inside the mirror, waiting. waiting for him to blink again. He tried to fight it. He tried to keep his eyes open, tears streaming down his face from the strain. But the human body has its limits. His eyelids grew heavy, burning. He knew he couldn't hold on forever. He knew what it was waiting for. And then it happened. An involuntary, desperate blink. In that split second, the thing inside the mirror leaned closer. Its movement was impossibly fast, unnaturally smooth. Closer, closer, until his face was pressed right against the glass, its cold, dead eyes staring directly into his soul. And as his eyes fluttered open again, it spoke. Or rather, it whispered back at him, its voice a dry, chilling rustle, like dead leaves blowing across pavement. The words weren't for him. They were for whatever was listening on the other side. The video feed we recovered this from shows what happened next. The camera, which Ali had set up to record his strange new purchase, suddenly tumbled to the floor. The screen went black, but the audio, the recording, continued. There was a sound of shattering glass, a choked gasp, and then silence. A heavy, final silence. The forensic team analyzed the final few corrupted frames of the recording. And what they found is why I'm telling you this story. In the final distorted frame, you can see the mirror. And staring out from inside the glass are two faces. One is Ali's, his face a mask of silent, eternal terror. The other belongs to the creature that replaced him. It's a thing that is now walking around in our world, wearing his face. So remember this, the next time you look into a mirror, especially an old one, be careful. The real horror doesn't begin when you see something strange in the mirror. It begins when it sees you first. Don't blink. Thanks for watching.